Morning. Are you coming in then?
Good morning, and what a show we've got lined up for you today. Today's going to be a good one. The one and only Jane McDonald will be in the house. She'll be here throughout the morning, tucking into proper fish and chips and the best shepherd's pie you'll ever taste. And with Valentine's Day fast approaching, we've joined some incredible chocolate creations from the genius that is Mark Tillingworth back. And we'll be serving more Spanish cooking as my food adventures take me to the stunning location in the heart of Galicia. And don't miss this week's little masterclass when I'll be teaching you everything you want to know about one of my favourite vegetables, which is celeriac. And that's the role because I'm joined again in the house by two top chefs who are welcome to cook for me and you any time, to be honest with you. It's the brilliant Paul Foster and Tony Tobin. Welcome back, gentlemen. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
What are you going to cook first, then, Paul? What are you going to be doing?
I'm doing a pasta dish for my new book. It's Caesar Malaredda, so it's a combination of carbonara and Caesar salad.
Would that be the book on pasta?
It is, yes.
Funny, that, isn't it? You're a big lover of Italian food as well.
I love Italian food and pasta.
But not Italian food on the menu for you, then? You're going a little bit French this week.
Well, it's Valentine's weekend and I'm trying to inspire the gents to cook for the ladies.
Oh, yeah, right.
Not big steaks, anything like that. A nice, succulent confit of duck with a little shell cassis sauce. There you go.
There you go. Cheap date there. There we go. Right, but I thought they'd kick things off today with an ice cream meringue cake that we're going to introduce to this amazing ice cream that comes from a family-run dairy in Cardiff, or just outside of Cardiff. So I want you to have a little taste of this while we're doing it. But this is like a meringue layered cake. So I'm going to get on and do the meringue first of all. The meringue comes in the form of, we're going to make an Italian meringue. So we've got some sugar, I've got some water, and then we're going to bring this to the boil and then add this to my eggs, which I'm going to whisk up. So this is the ice cream. I thought I'd start with you diving into it, so first of all for breakfast, but I mean, I love ice cream when it's there's proper ice cream and there's proper ice cream. This is a good one.
Oh, my God.
This is a good one.
Just delicious. It's so light.
Tell the quality of the cream in it.
Well, there's a gentleman at the end of the line smiling there. So to find out more about where this ice cream comes from, we're heading to Wales, like I said, to speak to Dean Cole from the Llanfaes Dairy. I think I've got that pronounced right, have I, Dean? Llanfaes?
Yeah, well done.
Is that right?
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Exactly. So tell me about this dairy then and how it all started.
So the name actually originated from my nan and granddad. They run the milk round for Brecon and surrounding areas. And then in the 80s, Mum and Dad decided to open a convenience store, and the dairy became attached to that store. So the name Llanfaes Dairy Shop became known. Then Mum and Dad then started selling Mr. Whippy ice cream, actually, alongside the shop. And then, so the people who provided all the refrigeration for my nan and granddad, for Mum and Dad, they actually specialise in ice cream making equipment. And they said, like, why are you selling this? Why not make your own, basically? So they took us over to Italy. Well, Mum and Dad, I was very young at the time, obviously. Took Mum and Dad over to Italy and got a lot of inspiration and sort of started from there, really.
Well, it's interesting you say Italy, because the Italian, the flavourings particularly, but the gelato, the way that they make it is different to the way that chefs would make it traditionally.
Yeah.
But the flavourings are such that they go hand in hand with the great dairy we have in this country, don't you? If you get those flavourings right and you put it in the ice cream, you end up with a product like yours. It's amazing. But the actual flavourings are very expensive, aren't they? The quality of this,
Yeah, I mean, especially the pistachio you've got there. At the moment, like, pistachio paste is just going, I think at the moment it's something like £90 a kilo.
It's immense, by the way. It's absolutely delicious. And it's all mine.
He's taking the credit from his grandparents and his parents. That's the thing.
I don't blame him.
But you didn't study doing this as well, did you, really? You sort of took it over. You were in theatre, but behind the scenes in theatre.
Yeah, that was kind of where I wanted to go in my career. That was my interest. And then I've always loved the business, don't get me wrong, but I think I just made the decision that I didn't want to see the business end after Mum and Dad. So I gave up my theatre work and came on board full time about 5-6 years ago.
And it is very much a family affair, isn't it? You're all the family's involved in it as well. But
Mum, Dad, sister, so they all run the Brecon store now, and then I'm sort of overseeing the new store in Cardiff.
So without giving the secret away, tell me how your ice cream is made then, because I've ventured to Spain and I've seen ice cream. Tell me how you produce it.
So this, so technically, it's actually gelato rather than ice cream. So it's handmade in small batches. So the day before, you'll make your base mix, which is obviously milk, cream, your sugar. That's then pasteurized overnight. So that's heated up to 90 degrees and then cooled back down overnight. And then the next morning, then you essentially pull your individual batches off into buckets, and then you add your key ingredients, like so your flavouring pastes, which come from Italy. And then that essentially goes into what we call a batch freezer. And this is where it differs from ice cream to gelato. So it's how it's churned. So gelato is churned a lot slower than what ice cream is. So you get a lot less air within the product, and that gives it actually a more denser, more creamier taste to actually traditional ice cream.
I can see them eagerly looking on there as well, really.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Do you still own the dairy?
No, so my granddad, we still use the same milk round that was originally my granddad's. So yeah, obviously when he retired, he sold that. That's been brought down from, it's about the third owner since my granddad sold it.
But tell me about the flavourings that you started off with just a few, and now it seems like since you've been on board, they've expanded quite a lot.
Yeah, so I think we're about over 100 flavours now total. So each shop, we've got 42 display cabinet. So there's always 42 flavours on display every day when you come in. Yeah, it's just picking the new flavours, which is getting more and more difficult, I'm not going to lie, but...
Yeah, these are amazing. I commend you for doing it because you just don't see these around the UK. And my only question to you is, can you open one in Stratford-upon-Avon so I can take my kids? Yeah.
And Surrey as well, please.
It is about the quality. It's about the quality of the dairy, but particularly it's about the flavourings that you put in there as well. But with that, you've got to be quite... You can have an amazing product and everything else, but you're quite different. You've changed the packaging. Your sister has changed the marketing. You're very much into social media now that obviously your parents weren't. You're looking at a different avenue, I take it.
Yeah. It's a big machine, isn't it? So we did a rebrand, actually, a massive rebrand just before COVID. Actually did a refit on the Brecon shop as well. Literally just about to open back up for the new season, and obviously COVID came along and shut us down. So that was a bit of a trying time. But yeah, then after COVID, the rebrand and everything sort of paid off. Heavy social media presence also helped, definitely. It's massive these days, social media. And just keep inventing the new flavours, getting people in to try them.
I wish you all the very best of luck with it. Hopefully I'm doing this justice, because what I'm going to show people now is I've taken a little bit of the sponge over here, and we take this nice little bit of ice cream, and you're better off doing it. Do it in a loose bottom cake tin, something like that, and we're just going to press this down and layer it up. So once you get to this stage, you can then take some sponge. I bought this cake, by the way. I've got a great farm shop down the road.
OK, I wasn't going to say anything, James.
It is Valentine's. You can hide the packet, change the bin and put it in the bin. But layer it all up. Neapolitan, you've got different flavours over there. You can layer it all up as you go. That's that one. And then we end up with what we've got here, which I made last night. So then my Italian meringue, which I've whipped up. So that's the machine that's been going in the background. It's also, Dean, very good to put in ice cream if you want, isn't it?
Yes.
This is you can, yeah. If you do, yeah. Anyway, I'll speak to you afterwards. But yeah, there's if you put this through ice cream as you're churning it, and then fold that in by hand, you get a lemon meringue ice cream using that meringue. Okay. It's amazing. So 120 degrees, boiling sugar. Before it goes into caramel, you pour it onto the whipped egg whites, and it cooks the meringue. And then what you do with this one is you just use a blowtorch. You can, if you haven't got one of these, a hot cloth. There we go. Right, bit of that, and then lift this off. Looks all right?
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do. And then, right, lift that off. And then take your meringue and then dollop it on the top. Now, this is where you can be as artistic as you want, but...
Or not.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Tony.
Jackson Pollock, yeah.
Well, exactly, that's what I would say, yeah. A bit of that on the top. And just do that. And a palette knife and just spread it all. And then the great thing about Italian meringue, it can go back in the freezer.
Oh, because it doesn't freeze, because it's a high sugar content.
Yeah, because it's high sugar. You can put it back in the freezer. and then you can serve this straight away. So you can make this, but I think this is ace. And the chocolate sauce is you just basically throw the chocolate in and just leave it.
There's something quite romantic about that as well. Half each.
Is it? What?
Half each on Valentine's.
There's three of us just together watching me. You need to get out more, Tony, to be honest with you. Or you need a drink, one of the two. but there you go. Bit of that. And then... Then we'll take a wedge out of this for two.
Yep, we can share.
Just straight down the middle, mate.
There we go. And that's the thing with gelato, it stays quite soft, which is really nice as well. And then, I don't know whether you can have this on display in your new shop, to be honest, Dean, but...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so we make ice cream cake, but yeah, we never coated it in meringue before, so definitely be giving that a go.
Look at that one.
Perfect.
Amazing.
There we have it. And then we'll put the chocolate sauce on the side. And there we have it. Hopefully it's done it justice. Dean, I wish you all the very best of luck with it. But there we have it. My ice cream meringue cake, Neapolitan, with a hot chocolate sauce. Done. Well, you've already tasted the ice cream already, so there's not a lot of difference, to be honest with you, but I'm going to give you that. There you go.
Thank you very much, yeah. I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing.
But like you said, it's all to do with the quality. It's the quality of the dairy. We have in this amazing stuff in this country anyway. But it's the purees and the flavourings. So you can't shortcut on that.
No, it's really noticeable.
Yeah.
They're so powerful, those flavours.
Yeah.
And real. Yeah, like fresh.
They're pure. They're pure. It's like
not only you've got to go to Wales for the food and the scenery and old people, you've got to go for ice cream now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right, Paul and Tony will be cooking for us later on the show. I'll be serving up some proper fish and chips for Jay McDonald very shortly. But join us again after the break, when we'll be leaving Hampshire behind and heading out on one of my food adventures. So I'll see you in a bit. It's lovely, that. Welcome back. Now, Chef Paul Foster will be firing up the stoves very shortly, and I'll be dishing up a Yorkshire-style fish and chips for the fabulous Jay McDonald in a couple of minutes. But before that, loads of you have been getting in touch on email and social media with photographs and videos of dishes you've been cooking at home. So I thought I'd take a look at just a few of them now. First up this week, a big well done goes to Sandra Gittins, who had a go at that amazing baked Spanish-style cheesecake that I made in a masterclass a few months ago. Great stuff there, Sandra. Looks spectacular. Next, we've got a photograph from James England, who's been hard at work, working away in the kitchen, preparing a beetroot and goat's cheese Wellington. How good does that look? Perfectly cooked pastry as well. I like the little bit of thyme on the top as well, a little garnish. And finally, top marks this week goes to Becky from Gloucestershire, who was very proud of this steak and homemade chips that she made. Well done there, Becky. Now, the great thing about that is you hardly ever see T-bone steak anymore. I love that as well. You get a little bit of sirloin, a little bit of fillet. You get the best of both worlds as well. Brilliant job there. OK, it's time for another recipe now. This week, I'm visiting Santiago de Compostela in the Spanish region of Galicia. And that's because it's almost Valentine's Day and I'm cooking in the grounds of, trust me, one of the most beautiful wedding venues and house that I've ever been to. This place is spectacular. Enjoy this one. The beautiful old town of Santiago de Compostela is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a rabbit warren of ancient squares and alleyways lined with crooked buildings and cobbled streets. I love places like this. Every street that you take, there's a different part of the city, a different part of its history as well. It's almost as if it's the place that hasn't been touched. It's fantastic. the city's cathedral is well known across the world as the final destination of the Camino de Santiago, a famous Catholic pilgrimage dating back to the 9th century. I feel the need to get a bike or a couple of sticks or stuff. But that's enough sightseeing for now. I'm keen to get to the second most visited attraction in the city, the food market. I'm told it dates back to the 1870s. And being over 5,000 square metres, it's brimming with fresh local produce. You can tell so much about an area by just coming to the local market. And this is the prime example. We've got fish on one section, vegetables on another. Such a selection in here. But I'm on my own today, so I'm flying solo, which is going to be a bit weird. Since I've been to Spain, this is the first time I've ventured to a market without a local guide. Wish me luck. Now, I've got to stop at this stall over here. Hola. Cuatro, por favor. Cuatro?
Cuatro.
I think we're going to get 4 kilos or 4. I'll ask for 4.
Almeja.
Almeja.
Cuatro.
I think that was Spanish. Italian.
2 kilos.
Good. Doing all right so far. It's amazing what pointing does, isn't it? Gracias. Gracias. At least we've got something to eat. Now, always in a market, there are little jewels. And I've spotted this one, this amazing lady. It's got this fantastic stall. Just look at this selection of clams. We've got little queenies over here. Beautiful mussels, razor clams as well. And you can tell these are so amazing. Hola.
Hola.
I think I'm going to take that.
Berberecho.
Half.
¿Qué tal? Te lo tienes mejor allí más grande.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Te pongo de ese.
One of these.
Okay.
It's going to be good, this. She's going to give me half.
Mitad. Sí. Dos más.
Grazie.
Es esto.
Yes, good. So these are the little baby queenie scallops. Look at these. Tiny little scallops like that. Absolutely delicious.
¿Algo más?
Grazie.
Gracias. Thank
Gracias.
you.
Thank you. Fantastic stall. Cuatro.
4. 3. 9, 3.
Gracias.
A ti.
I couldn't help but stop and get these tomatoes. Just look at these. Like rays of sunshine. Look. They're glorious. They really are. Well, that was an amazing experience for me. A new experience, a learning curve into the Spanish language. But I've survived. Now I'm going to eat. Just outside the city, this historic Galician manor house was a former paper mill dating back to the 18th century. Do you know what? I've been privileged doing these adventures to go to some amazing places. Monet's Garden was one of them that I'll never forget, but I don't think I've been to anywhere more spectacular and beautiful as this place. It's absolutely glorious here. And I thought I'd sort of cook the dish using the ingredients that we got from the market, really. I've got some beautiful clams, I've got beautiful octopus, some of these little baby scallops, and then running through the ingredients, I've got some garlic, I've got some rosemary and bay, a little bit of free parsley, and some tomatoes, and a touch of smoked paprika. But first thing we can do is chop up our garlic. Garlic goes into a hot pan with a couple of bay leaves and some rosemary. So as soon as the garlic starts to cook a little bit, in we go with the tomatoes. Now, if it starts to get ahead of itself, like that, I've just got some stock. Now, the stock that I'm using for this is a bit of chicken stock. So really start sweating those down a little bit. While they're sort of coming down in the pan, we can then concentrate on our pulpo, our lovely octopus over here. Now, a little bit of olive oil, touch of bay leaf, some rosemary, just a few sprigs, maybe a little bit more olive oil. And then I'm going to get a little bit of the smoked paprika, just a touch. With garlic. Now, you can leave that if you wanted to. Just allow it to sit there while your beans and everything else cooks. I'm going to take a little bit of lemon. So often when they're grilling fish over in the northern parts of Spain is they're using a combination of sort of a acid, be it vinegar or lemon, mixed together with olive oil. It's usually in a spray gun. But just a touch of lemon juice over the top, because this is going to take really just no more than a minute or two to cook. You just want it to just colour nicely. Tomatoes are starting to break down now. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now, the beans I'm going to use are these Fabas beans. You can buy these now in these wonderful little glass jars. Now, I don't want too much of the beans, so we just want enough beans to sort of hold this all together. It's quite interesting putting rosemary with fish, but it does really work fantastically well with particularly grilled octopus, that kind of stuff. It's just delicious. So this starts to come together. Now, with a little bit more liquid into here, because now we're ready to add our clams to it. Don't be shy with this. Give a good selection. A little bit more stock, and we're going to cook this nice and gently for about 2 or 3 minutes. Meanwhile, the crew can explore this beautiful, beautiful place. It really is. Check out the moss over there. Just check that out. It's like the Spanish Narnia here. And then I couldn't resist these amazing scallops. Pinch of salt. I'm going to allow that to stew together. You see that combination? You've almost got half beans to shellfish. When you've got shellfish this good, why spoil it with adding more and more ingredients? Let the shellfish and the flavour of that do their thing. And you can see now these little pots of jewels starting to open up. The clams and the scallops as everything cooks together. You've got flavour of the sea. You don't need any more. That's why don't load it with beans and tomatoes. You're not creating baked beans, that kind of stuff. And now we're just going to finish that off with some free parsley. Plenty of parsley over the top. Just leave those gently away cooking. Meanwhile, I can then turn our attention to our nice little bit of pulpo. Pop it straight on the barbecue. Then as it flames here, I'm going to take this oil. We want that sort of charred smokiness to it, which you're going to get with this. And this is ready to plate up, really. Look at this. And just put this in amongst everything else. And then we can take our oil, a little drizzle of this amazing little oil over the top. I love dishes like this. And there we have it. An amazing dish in an amazing setting. And apparently, you can rent this for weddings. I don't do weddings, but if you are getting married and you rent this, I'm going to come and cook that. My clam, octopus, queenie scallop and fava bean stew. I do. It really was a special place. Now, if you're trying to find it, good luck, because it took us about probably 2 hours to try find the place, but what a house. It's absolutely glorious. Now, the very talented Paul Foster will be cooking for us a little bit later, and I'll be enjoying a mouth-watering chocolate dish from Mark Tilling in a little while. But I'll see you back in a few minutes when we're chatting to the fabulous Jane McDonald over a plate of proper fish and chips. I'll see you in a bit. Now, coming up, I'll be giving you a masterclass in celeriac, which is one of my favourite veg, and Mr Tony Tobel will be treating us to duck confit and mash a little bit later. But first, I'm here with a Yorkshire lass who sailed the 7 seas on her travel shows and conquered the charts with her best-selling albums. It's the fabulous Jane McDonald! Ching, ching, ching. Lovely to see you
it's
again.
so nice
We get that. There you go. Let's have a little hug. There you go. Good to see you. Good to see you.
And you too.
So, first of all, I mean, looking at your food preferences, what I love about you, you like proper food, don't you?
I do, yeah.
I don't want any of that fancy sort of stuff.
No.
None of that truffle, all this sort of... Fish, chips and mushy peas.
Fish chips, mushy peas.
This is what I'm about to cook for you.
With a deep fat fryer.
That's what I'm about to do. So, fish, chips and mushy peas. So, we're going to start off with our batter, first of all, over here. So, fish, chips and mushy peas. I've got some beautiful... I mean, this is the line caught cod. It's amazing. We've got some haddock. Obviously, from the north, it's haddock for you.
Always,
It is for me as well. But we have to put the cod on there as well. But the batter comes in the form of gluten-free, self-raising flour.
Really?
Yeah, gluten-free flour. And then we've got some cider. And you just take the cider and you add that to the gluten-free flour. Now, what happens to it? It goes like this sort of gloopy glue to start off with. Keep persevering, it'll all start to come together. And what you end up with is this thinnish batter. But because you've got the bubbles in the cider, it produces a wonderful little batter. That's it.
So it's like your salt and vinegar in your...
Yeah, like that. But you want the cider, you want not a fancy cider, you want the fizzy cider. You know,
right.
that cider. And then we've got a nice little bit of haddock. You can tell the haddock differently. You can even tell it when it's deep fat fried, the difference between haddock. Haddock has always got the black line on it. Cod has always got a white line on it.
Well, I never knew that.
But that's your haddock. It comes with a black line on it. So we're going to deep fry this as well. But first of all, I've got to say congratulations on a career. What a career you've had. And what a diverse career you seem to be having as well now.
Yeah, it's a fluke.
It's not a fluke. So
it really is.
Well, it isn't, because I know you work so hard at it as well. It's, you know, you work for everything as well. You must be in your element now, because you're doing such a diverse range of bits and pieces, from television to the theatre, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but still your love of music as well.
Yeah, I think just that's it. Whatever I love and whatever I fancy doing, I think, oh, I'll have a go at that.
You're not frightened of anything, is that?
No, I don't.
You're not frightened of giving stuff a go?
No, I don't do fear. I had enough of that as a child. You know, I was always afraid of everything.
Why was that? Were you because I was the quiet one at school. Were you the same sort of?
Very quiet.
You're the same. You wouldn't do that as a kid.
No, I used to throw up. I used to be that nervous. I'd say, oh, please don't. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I used to get on a coffee table as a child and I used to sing for my family. Not me. No. Please don't make me do it in public. That was it. Please don't make me do it.
And then what was the moment for you then? What was that moment you thought, no, this is what I love?
My mother's blackmail, really.
Was that
Yeah.
the cruise ship side of it? Was the fact that
No, I did the clubs first, so I didn't go to RAD or anything like that, but I did do the working men's clubs in the north.
But it is notoriously, though, that club circuit is notoriously difficult, isn't it? Not just for comedians, but for singers as well. And where you are now, I mean, you're about to go on tour, tour again, but this one's very different for you as well, this one. As a way that it's that the organisations for it, this has been taken away from you, out of your hands.
Yeah.
How is that?
That is quite frightening, actually. I mean, I didn't do it all myself through choice. It's because I got dropped by everybody. Right. Record companies, you know, everybody just drops your husband when I thought, oh. And then I sort of looked at myself and I thought, well, how hard can this be? So what I've done over the years...
Pretty hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I just did it. I got a fabulous team behind me and I just said, right, let's have a go. Let's have a go. And it went from strength to strength. As soon as I took over, that's when it... And so now I can say to Live Nation, this is the tour now that I can do.
This is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do. And they've gone, all right, then. So I thought, oh...
Now, tell us about this, then, because I was doing a little bit of research on it. I thought I knew everything about you, and I didn't. And you've been playing the piano for quite a while. I didn't know this.
Yeah, since, oh, God, I went to piano lessons when I was really young. I think my mother and dad sent me there to stop me playing with boys. You know, they thought, get her out the street, get her into a piano lesson. And I had an old upright piano from a pub, so I still had all the beer marks on it. And I learned, I got to grade 7 at the Royal College of Music. But I haven't played for such a long time, and at the moment I sound a bit like Les Dawson. But by the time we get to the tour...
Well, you haven't got long, have you, really?
No.
When are you going to hit the road?
October.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll have to get a bit more practising, and it'll be lovely. And, of course, my fans have never seen that side of me, so there'll be a few stripped-back versions of songs that I've written, and I'll be saying this is why I wrote this song, how I wrote this song, where I wrote the song. A few of them I wrote in the States. So yeah, it's going to be totally different.
But I get the feeling now in your career, your personal life and everything, your private life, you feel like you're very comfortable in terms of where you are, do you think?
Correct, yeah, and it is a lovely stage to be at. Listen, I thought I'd be here for 5 minutes, and so did a lot of other people. But I've sort of just done what I like, and I've been very lucky with the people that have been surrounding me, and I've had a great time.
But you have, I mean, you also have a great time. I've got to watch, because I do watch you on this on the travel show, because, I mean, I would just love to get a job like that, because
yeah,
you're not
there's one going.
Well, yeah, exactly. I've got to cook all my travels and everything else, but
yeah.
You get to go to these amazing sort of places.
Yeah, I am lucky.
Do you pick those places, or do you just go, this is where you're going, Jane, and off you go? Yeah,
I was very lucky. I had a fantastic team at Channel 5. Right. And we were together a long time. And unfortunately, it's finished now. That's it. It's done, because I'm dedicating this year to music. But the last 8 years of travelling have been some of the best in my life. And thanks to Channel 5 for giving me that time to go and just have a ball.
Right, so I know you've got your one eye on this as well, so I'm just going to show you what to do. So what you do with this, these are the marrowfat peas. Marrowfat peas, you soak them, it always comes with these, really. This is a little bit of bicarb soda. You pop them in the water with the marrowfat, leave them overnight, and you end up with this. Oh. Then what you do is you take your marrowfat peas, you put them in here with some water, you bring it to the boil, gently cook these for about sort of half an hour, 45 minutes, and you end up with that.
Right.
Mushy peas. Black pepper, a little bit of butter.
Do you rinse them after the bicarb?
You just take out the water, yeah, just rinse them off and then just top it all up. So that's that. We'll leave that ticking away. This is a little bit of homemade mayonnaise that we've got over here. So the fish, in fact, I'll show you the fish first of all. We'll get this fish out. So this is the fish that we've deep fried.
I saw you putting some scraps in there as well.
I knew you'd spot that, you see. I was trying to do that on the quiet, you see, but... In fact, I've still got some scraps from last week that I did this as well, but stuck in the fryer. And I've got my chips going in there, but as well, you've got to have scraps, you see. Yeah. And that's very much the thing from the north, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But scraps. But you take the chips, which I've just blanched, they're going to go in there. And that's our fish. We just leave that sit there. We'll just blanch the chips, that's going to go in.
Oh, I wish it was Smell-O-Vision, because this absolutely smells too bad.
It is lovely. So a little bit of salt over the top. Ooh. So tartar sauce, just running through the tartar sauce, because people want to know how to make this. I've made my own little mayonnaise. You can make your own mayonnaise if you want, but you can buy it. It's entirely up to you. But this, we take the shallot. So the thing is with tartar sauce, you want to make sure that the ingredients are quite small, particularly the shallot. So when you dice it up nice and fine. I've got in here, I've got capers, I've got some gherkins, I've got some dill, and I've got parsley. They're the main ones with this. And you take a good dollop of that. You take some of your mayonnaise. So this is just egg yolks, mustard, a little bit of vinegar, and some vegetable oil. And you just mix it with some lemon juice.
Wow.
And that's your little tartar sauce that goes with it.
You see, you're a proper cook. I like this.
What's that?
You're a proper cook for me. Proper chef, not...
Well, no. Hey, I'm a chef at work. When you're in here, you're just a cook. That's it. But then you just mix that together, and that's your little tartar sauce done. Is there anything that you want to do as well? Is there anything you just think, yeah, I'd quite like to give that a go as well? Because you've done so much.
Yeah, I think...
Is there anything you'd like to give it a go at?
I think I might go into acting next, because I've done acting as well in my sort of previous life. You know, I've been in the West End and I've done shows like Cats and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think there's another career just waiting in the background.
Well, you could almost go full circle and go back into the theatre as well.
Yeah, I could do.
But theatre just... I mean, I speak to a lot of people that done theatre. Hannah Waddingham was here at Christmas, and you speak to the amount of work that it takes. She did it for 21 years, and you're doing like 10 shows a week, and it's tremendous undertaking doing the theatre, isn't it?
Forget that. But I fancy a good drama or something like that. And some northern dramas now are just fantastic. You know, with Sally Wainwright and...
Yeah.
I think something like that could get really gritty and get made up and look my age, really.
I think you'd be great at it, look. So we've got our chips. This is our nice little bit of fish.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this. So you've got our beautiful bit of fish. We'll stick that
Oh.
On the side like that. We've got to have the scraps with it as well.
Absolutely scraps.
So we can put the scraps on there as well.
I'm so excited when I saw you do that.
Bit of scraps. And then, of course, you cannot have fish and chips without proper vinegar and white sliced bread and butter with the crusts on.
I love it.
You've got to have that. We'll put a little bit of that on the side. Touch of the white sliced bread, whether you make a chip butty. That goes on there. And then, of course, we've got our chips. Drain these off.
Look at that.
And pop these on here.
You see, that didn't take long for them, did it? In air fryer, they take forever.
The air fryer. I don't know. I've never used an air fryer in my life. Have you got one?
Of course I have. But, you know, it's a gadget. It's in my kitchen. Sorry, I'm going to get a deep fat fryer after this.
But look, you take your chips.
Oh, look at that.
Bit of that on there.
Now, I've noticed you put salt in everything yourself.
Salt.
Don't you?
Season, and particularly salt. That's the key. But you get different salt. So a lot of people would just use this sea salt on here.
Yeah.
It's just going to fall off.
Yeah.
On fish and chips, you want proper table salt, don't you? So you just, So that's what I like to use. But there we have it. My version of fish, chips, mushy peas, tartar sauce, white sliced bread and butter, and don't forget the vinegar. Done. Jane, there we have it. It's not a bad starter, is it?
I love that.
Happy with that?
I'm happy. I'm
Are you a
ecstatic.
vinegar lass?
I am. Get
I'll
it?
leave that to put you on
love
as
it.
well. There we go.
A bit of vinegar. You can't have vinegar. You've got to have.
You've got to have vinegar on it, yeah.
Yeah. I like a lot as well. Can I really dig into this now?
You could, off you go. Start one and work your way through it.
Thank you.
The batter's crispy.
Oh, I love that crunch, don't you? Oh, hey. I love you. Oh, my God, that is so good.
It is Valentine's. There you go.
Oh, chin, chin.
You like that?
Gorgeous.
Good start. There we go. Right, I'll be making Jane's favourite food. That's a shepherd's pie, and hopefully making the best one she's ever eaten in her life at the end of the show. And we've got a masterclass in celeriac coming your way very shortly. Join us again after the break when Paul Foster will be taking over the kitchen duties. I'll see you in a minute. This is fab.
God.
Welcome back. Now I'll be sharing some recipe ideas for celeriac in this week's Little Masterclass, and I'll be cooking for my guest Jane McDonald a little bit later on in the show. But first, I've been joined in the house by Tony Tobin and top chocolatier Mark Tilling.
Yay.
And we're about to taste a dish from a chef whose skills in the kitchen have earned him a shiny Michelin star, 2 restaurants, and an army of followers all on social media. It's Mr. Paul Foster. Yay! Great to have you back, chef.
No, it's always good to be
Your
back.
food is amazing. This is going to look amazing. Pasta this time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, pasta. I love pasta.
Yeah.
I did pasta first time I was on your show,
You
actually.
did,
so
yeah. But
come
now you've got a
full
book on
circle.
pasta, which I'm going to show you in a minute.
I have.
But...
And this is one of the dishes from the book.
Right.
So Caesar Malaredis. So Malaredis pasta, which you're going to make.
Yeah.
So it's made in the style of a carbonara with the process, but the
Okay.
flavours of Caesar salad.
Wow. Okay. It's interesting, isn't
Yeah,
it?
very
Interesting flavours already. Okay.
Yeah.
So you start off with so we talk about the book first of all, because last time you were on as well, you brought out this is part of a series that you're doing as well, isn't it?
It is. That's number 2 out of 6. Yeah.
And this is, I mean, a book is a labour of love, but for you, this is a real labour of love, because you're involved in every single bit of this.
Every bit. Development, research, all the recipes, every shot, every dish, every word I wrote as well.
book.
Yeah, so it was 14
Photography,
months.
14 months.
14
I mean, just
months.
look at the work. Look at the work on that. It's just it's glorious, isn't it? Glorious. So this is part of a series of books as well. It's beautiful, beautiful. So this one, how do you make your pasta then? What's this?
So this is an egg yolk pasta. Malaredis traditionally is just semolina and water, but I want it a bit richer. So
Yeah.
it's an egg yolk. So 250 grams of 00 flour.
Yeah.
And then 190 grams of egg yolk, a little bit of olive oil and salt.
Okay.
So you just roll these roughly, and then you take your gnocchi board and then just let it loop round. If it's sticking, put a little bit of flour on. So there's your one.
Thanks. And I've got to make,
And I'll get on with the rest.
and I've got to make 40 of these.
Yeah, there or thereabouts. Depends how hungry the guys are, really.
60.
Yeah, yeah, all right. Well, I'll carry on. That's fine. Carry on. So these look beautiful, then, don't they, really?
They've got a lovely texture. They catch the sauce, and one of the best things about it is really meaty, and this is a rich dish, so it just gives a lovely meaty texture.
Now, last time you were on as well, you were just about to launch, or just launched, your second restaurant.
Yes.
This is in London.
Yeah, so in Camden.
Yeah.
Yeah, we opened Grass-Fed in August last year. Yeah, really challenging having two sites, one in Stratford-upon-Avon and one in London.
Well, you picked it.
Yeah. But you know what it's like. We don't do things by half.
Well,
really.
exactly. And it is different to the restaurant that you've got in Stratford, isn't it?
Yeah, very different. So it's all about grass-fed beef, great ingredients, cooked over coal, great fish as well. 2 free components a plate, so we're not overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
We just want it really approachable.
Beautiful. Right. Well, I think I'm on the home stretch in a minute when I get this done. So you've got the pancetta there as well. Running through the ingredients, you said this is more like a Caesar salad sort of stuff.
Yeah. So carbonara and Caesar salad, they're 2 of the most bastardised dishes in the world, and I love them both. I think they're both. And I appreciate the process of them.
Yeah, yes.
So I wanted to bring them together and see if it worked, and it did. Well, I think it does, so...
Yeah. And they do, you know, particularly when you're looking at the carbonara, the people have their own variants of it in all manners, aren't they, really? All different types of carbonara, really. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I'm a purist as a chef, you know. I appreciate when people are trying to take something classic and elevate it, but there's so many random ones out there. I just wanted to really... There is a beautiful classic carbonara recipe in there as well, but this was more about that process of making that sauce with the egg, really.
Right.
You're showing off now, doing them 2 at a time.
2 at a time. I'm on a roll here. I'm on a roll.
So I'm just going to take some anchovies to start the base for the sauce.
Right. And the restaurant that you've had in Stratford, you've had that quite a number of years now,
Yeah, we'll be 7 years old in March.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And was I know the intention, whenever I speak to anybody, it's never about Michelin stars, but your training's got to be the fact that that's kind of where you wanted to go with this fine dining, or you've had to adapt it over the years?
Yeah, always. It's not something that was part of the business model to have one. It's something you want, but you can't make the restaurant all about that. It has to be a business first. You have to impress your guests first.
Do you want the pasta in there?
Yeah, if we go straight in there, get some salt in.
There you go.
So ones like this, when they're fresh, about 4 minutes to cook, 4 or 5 minutes, depending on size.
I'm going to do a few more because I've got nothing else to do, so I'm going to do a few. That's all right.
It's quite therapeutic.
It is. It really is with that as well. Looks like a skirting board that you've just cut off.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Probably what it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that goes into there, and we just slice this through. So what else are you making now then? What's this next bit?
Garlic in there as well. So again, like if you think of the ingredients that you would put in sort of the Caesar salad dressing.
So you take the bacon until it's quite, you know...
Really crispy, yeah.
Really crispy. All right. That's that bit. So you've got garlic and anchovy in there as well.
Yeah, garlic anchovy. We'll have some lemon, parmesan.
And tell me about this. I mentioned about social media. You've got this podcast. Tell me about the podcast. So that's still hugely popular, which I'm going to do, by the way. I'm going to do it this year.
It's growing,
yeah.
Season on season. So we do a weekly one now, which is just me and Simon.
Yeah.
But the series where we get guests on, which you'll be a guest, it'd be great to have you guys on as well. At some point, come to the restaurant, have some food, have some wine, have a chat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just careful what you say. Yeah, it's fantastic. So, right, so the pasta's cooking away nicely.
Yeah.
What is this you're doing now? This is the panko bread. This is the topping side of it.
Yeah, so you need that bit of texture, and you'd have that in a Caesar salad anyway, a crouton.
Right.
So we're just going to do some panko. Okay. I've turned the pancetta off now and want that to cool down.
Okay.
You don't want it too hot when we add the egg yolk.
Okay.
If you could separate 4 egg yolks into there.
Into there?
For me, yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, no problem. That goes into there as well.
And then we get some...
But the great thing about
zest.
pasta as subject, it's such a massive subject, isn't it, really? That's the...
It's huge, and you can never stop learning. And the beauty of it is that, recipes, different pasta shapes, won't only change from region to region, they'll change from family to family.
Yeah.
But what have you learned out of it? I mean, must be going to Italy, you must learn something, you must think, I had that idea, but that's been wrong for over the years. That, it's a learning process, this, when you're writing a book anyway, but doing something like that?
Yeah, and to be honest, it just took me back even further to... appreciate how simple pasta should be.
Yeah.
And I've always understood that, but it was another level of understanding.
Yeah.
It's quite a brave title for a chef from Coventry.
Well, I called the first one that, so let me move this onto here. I called the first one How to Cook Meat Properly.
I'll source that for you.
Cool. So I had to stick with the same title.
Yeah. Listen, I think
it is brave, but you know, the book is all about teaching skills, really.
You're backing it up. That's the thing. You're backing it up.
Exactly. Yeah. So
do you want this any more than that? Or you
just a little bit more, and then just get it on the tray. So Parmesan going in here now, and we'll make a paste.
So this is the carbonara bit that's going to bring it all together, really, with the egg yolks at the end.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. There's your crumb at the end of it. There you go. I'll put the bacon on there. I'll turn it off. Yeah, that's that. That's it.
So, cheese in that. And then if you could finally shred a bit of the lettuce, keep it to the sides.
Yeah.
Got me working today,
I feel I'm at work at his place now. Yeah.
So another minute or so on the pasta.
So that's a little bit of julienne as well. So you said this is part of a series. What's the next one then? What's the...
So the next one will be fish.
Right.
But because I'm, you know, so stubborn and do it all on my own, it's going to be another... Perhaps the end of next year, maybe.
But are you self-publishing this as well? Are you doing the whole thing?
I've got a publisher, but we're a very small team, so I've got complete creative control.
It's a big job, that sort of stuff, from beginning to end.
It is. I mean, you know yourself how long it takes to do books and things. But,
yeah.
But, yeah, I just won't... Because it's such a labour of love, I won't let anyone else really... Oh, you know, I'll speak to a team, I'll give them the dishes and see what they think and get their feedback. But from a creative standpoint, it's all mine. So pasta's about there.
There you go. Every day's a school day, see?
Yeah. Straight into this pan.
So the pan is now off for this. You've got
the pan's off.
Yeah.
You can add a little bit more heat if you need, but the residual heat of the pan or and the pasta should be enough. But if it's still looking a little thin, then you can add a little touch of heat. But the key is keeping it low, so egg yolks set around 87 degrees.
Yeah.
So you need to keep it under that.
OK.
And then
what about the lettuce? The lettuce goes in at the same time, doesn't
right
it?
at the end.
Right.
Just stir it through before we serve.
So this is on a low heat now?
Very low. And it's almost like a custard, think along those lines, really. So you see how those ribs of the pasta... The ribs of the pasta catch the sauce.
Can I just say, I got these for my Christmas present to myself. This is the first time any chef's used them at the house, but these.
They're very nice.
They're gorgeous plates. Yeah. If you had those plates at your restaurant, you could add a tenner onto this dish.
And they're counted, so I know how many I've got left.
I'm just going to go with a touch more Parmesan. I'm about ready to serve.
So the lettuce is just to the top of it? Or?
I'm going to fold it through when I do this cheese. You don't want the lettuce too wilted.
OK. Love this. Lovely, isn't it?
There we go. And if you need a touch of pasta water, use that just to let it down.
You make this look so easy, though. Yeah. Well, like him. Can I just let you in a little secret? Before he started cooking, he said, can I remind you that I used to watch both of you on TV when I came back... when he came back from school.
Yeah.
School! Can you believe?
I had dark hair then.
Yeah.
Looks amazing, look at that.
So it's a rich dish. It's not one you'd serve a huge bowl of pasta. It's more of a primo, like taste of any course or a starter, that kind of size.
We get it. You got a restaurant. We understand.
Looks beautiful, though, doesn't it? Look at that. And where would this come from? Where does this come from, Italy? North, south, east?
Well, it doesn't really, because I come up with it, so...
Right. Comes from Coventry.
So, panko on top.
Yeah. Beautiful.
There we go.
So give us the name of this dish.
So this is Caesar Malaredas.
From Paul Foster, everybody. How good is this guy who's cooking? It's brilliant. There you go. Right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Bon appetit.
Forward to this. Thank you so much.
Dive into that. Go on then, Chef. Dive in, but looking forward to this as well.
Yeah, get to the bottom, get all that sauce and...
Wow.
Very clever, isn't it?
Mm.
But the pasta's got this texture, isn't it? Right.
It's perfect pasta
really.
for it.
Lovely, isn't it?
Wow.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
It's absolutely delicious. Paul Foster, everybody. Best of luck with the book as well. Fantastic, that. Right, Tony will be trying to cook a little dish that's going to beat that a little bit later on. And I'll be cooking for Jay McDonald at the end of the show. But don't go anywhere, because after the break, it's Mark's turn to wow us with more incredible confectionery. I'm looking forward to this. You can go get it out of the car. This will be amazing. See you after the break. Welcome back. Now, coming up, I'll be teaching you the basics of preparing and cooking celeriac in this week's masterclass, and I'll be finishing off the show in style with the best ever shepherd's pie for my guest, Jay McDonald. But first, Paul and Tony are here, and we're about to learn some tricks of the trade from a master chocolatier who's represented the country in competitions all over the world. He wanted to put Universe, but that's coming up next year. It's brilliant, Mark Tilling. And from down the road as well. So, I mean, we've got to talk about this. Whenever you come
I
here,
can't come here without a showpiece, can I? Really, to be honest.
And this has been through a bit of a rough ride in its Valentine life. What was it? A couple of days ago, you shut the fridge door
and it completely collapsed. Yeah,
the whole thing.
The whole thing collapsed. It was at 100,000 pieces.
Right.
But yeah.
And then on your way here.
Together. Yeah, in the car. It's just melted a little bit.
On the way here, you put the heating on?
No, it's just the sun coming through the window.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
It looks good.
And the whole thing is chocolate, so...
Yeah.
So
it's solid. Some of it's solid, some of it's hollow, yeah.
And there's no frame in that, is there? It's just
No, it's just all supported on its own.
OK, for those people watching, we're not going to replicate this. Not yet, anyway.
Take a few hours.
I'm going to get Paul to do it. Off you go. We're going to make these chocolates over here. So give us the idea of what we're going to do with this.
We're going to do a pink gin and tonic chocolate.
That sounds
perfect for Valentine's.
Sounds pretty good to me. So where do we?
So we're going to start with the mould first.
Okay.
So this is a polycarbonate mould.
I'll get out your way then. I'll come this side.
And you know we've used cocoa butters before, but this is something a little bit easier and a little bit simpler. So this is just some gold dust colour, cake decorating dust colour.
Yeah.
So let's just dab a little bit off, and then you just dab it into the mould. So really, really easy.
Really easy. I love how he says
you could do that.
I always say.
I could do that part, then I'm done.
Yeah. But the molds, these molds you can get online, can you, these?
Yeah. You can get these in shops online, easy. So polycarbonate mould. So some of them you'll get, like, really flimsy.
Yeah.
But you want something that's nice and hard. Okay. So I've got my chocolate here. So my white chocolate, but I've put a little bit of raspberry powder in this. So it just makes it a little bit different than just white chocolate. So you get a little bit of fruitiness to it.
And does that have to be a certain temperature, that chocolate?
Yeah, so we've got this tempered.
OK.
OK, I could spend the next hour talking about tempering, but you can see all of that online. It's quite easy, but it must be tempered.
For people at home, the process of tempering is what? You have two things in chocolate and you're bringing them together without them separate.
It's getting that crystal structure of the chocolate right. We've got different crystals in chocolate, but it's the beta 5 crystal. I don't want to confuse anybody with all terms, but it's getting that beta crystal right in the chocolate. That gives you that nice shine and that nice snap.
Right. So it firms up the structure of the chocolate as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what gives it its shine, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. From a mould on transfer sheet, acetate sheeting, stuff like that. So
this is the chocolate bit that we're going to fill these, but this is the first stage.
Yeah. So we need that nice thin coating. So we're just going to fill it out really quickly, and then we need a good chocolate scraper. You could use a sort of a palette knife or something. So scrape it all off.
So do you miss the competitive element of it? Or not?
No.
You don't? Yeah, I get the feeling.
Been there, done that.
You've done all that, yeah. Because when I first met you many, talking about 30 years ago, that was your thing as well. You just started that journey.
I love competitions back then were great. Hats off to everybody that does them. But
these are global competitions that you're into. I mentioned that as a tongue-in-cheek thing, that world competition.
Yeah, so I did the World Chocolate Masters twice.
Won it.
My God, 4 years running, like just constantly thinking and doing it. Yeah,
it is a labour of loving it, but yeah. What a nice job to have, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I could win at eating the chocolate. Not making.
So you've just tipped that out.
Yeah,
that's the first stage.
Got a nice sort of surface, a couple of mil thickness.
Okay.
Straight upside down. That just stops it all sinking back into the bottom because it's still a little bit wet. And it would just go to the bottom, but we want it to be nice and firm around the sides.
Now, what about fridge? Do you fridge this? Don't you fridge it? Do you?
Well, yeah, we want to fridge it a bit. You know, I know everybody's fridges at home, they're like 5 degrees. Well, that's really too cold for chocolate.
Okay.
We need it a little bit hotter than that, so around about 10, 12 degrees.
Right.
So wine fridges are good to set chocolate in, but you can set it in a 5 degree, but don't leave it in there for too long. Yeah. If you leave it in there too long, it gets moisture on it. And obviously you don't want that on chocolate, it becomes all sticky and you get what we call sugar bloom. That's another thing to talk about. But...
There you go. Right, OK. So that's the case inside
That's the
of
case
it.
is done. So
this is the filling then.
So we're going to do the little jam first.
Now, you've also brought along this. What is this that you brought along? I've spotted this down.
So this is a cocoa juice. So something new that's come out.
I've never seen this.
Basically what's around the actual cocoa beans.
Right.
And basically you...
That still doesn't do anything for me. What does that mean? Is there a white husk with it? Or what is
so in the actual husks, you've got the beans, and around those beans you've got this white flesh.
Right.
OK, and this is the juice from that flesh.
Oh. Fruity.
So different, isn't it? Something...
It's not chocolate at all, is it?
No, exactly.
I expected a hint of the chocolate.
Yeah.
There's nothing chocolatey about, is it?
No.
No, it's quite...
It's cool, isn't it?
It's almost like citrusy.
Yeah. Really, really fruity. So you can see now where chocolate gets its fruitiness from, you know, it's this around the beans that sort of rots down and starts to give that bean its flavour. So that's part of that sort of process.
So in there we've got...
So a little bit of glucose in there as well, some gin, some pink gin, and we've got some sugar and pectin here now. We're just going to pop that in, and we're going to cook it to about 106 degrees.
So the 106 degrees will actually turn it into this
little jam.
This jam. Yeah, OK.
But because this is quite a thick jam, we can put a little bit more gin into it.
OK.
Makes it a little bit more
And that'll go into the puree. Do you want me to do that while you do the this rest of it? So I'll do that.
So we're going to do a little ganache as well. So again, I've got some pink gin. We've got some tonic water. So it's, playing on that gin and tonic. So tonic water, and I've just infused that with some juniper berries. So just crushed them down.
Oh, perfect.
Put in, so just get a little bit more flavour into it as well.
Look, we've got this nice and... Look, this is nice.
That's cool. That looks really good.
So this is nice and thick now. We're going to add that sort of pink...
Yeah, and then we can just put that to the side, let that cool down.
Yeah.
I've got some already done.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put all of this...
So the whole juniper goes in as well. Wow.
Juniper, tonic water, some more gin, a little bit of zest.
Nice. Keep it going.
Little bit of strawberry puree.
So what is this we're making?
So this is going to be a little ganache.
Right, OK.
We've got some white chocolate and we've got some cocoa butter. So it's quite easy to add lots of white chocolate. It makes the ganache really, really sweet. Okay. But obviously you want that setting of that ganache. So if we add a little bit of cocoa butter, so this is in a powdered form, and we call it macryo.
So is that dried?
So it's dried, freeze-dried cocoa powder.
OK.
Yeah, so we can put that into there.
It's just the best job in the world, isn't it? Yeah.
And then...
I've got a question about cocoa butter as well. Is that what you use when you spray stuff?
Yeah, so if we're going to spray...
apples.
So a little bit like what's on these chocolates here, you can see the red. So that's a red cocoa butter.
OK.
So, I do that apple... I do an apple as well. So I do this apple dessert, which is sprayed. We use the... You can actually buy it in a can, can't you? The cocoa butter in a can.
Yeah.
Buy the red and the green cocoa butter and the different
It's all ready, and then you just spray
it.
it.
You don't have to mess around like this, chap. You just buy it in a can. There you go.
Oh, that's interesting. So
He's done all the work for you.
so you're cheating, are you?
No. Just twisting the storyline a little bit.
So all that's gone in to the white chocolate. That's going to melt that down. And then we're all ready to...
We're ready to fill.
So case is already set. We're going to put... If you just stir that for me, I'll just play with this. So this is the little jam. We're going to pop this just a little bit in each one.
Just going back to the spray one more time. Banksy could do an edible picture, couldn't he?
Yeah. Exactly.
I think he needs to contact me first, though.
OK.
Did you not know that I'm Banksy? So just a little bit in each one.
So there's 2 flavours in here as well.
Yeah. So it just makes it a little bit
So
different.
in essence, if you've got the I say about this, but you can buy these. I've seen these on the internet as well. There's if you've got the stuff like this, you can just keep going and going and going. The world's your oyster, isn't it? That's different flavours.
No, definitely. I mean, this just keeps it all in temper for a long period of time. So if I use a bowl to temper my chocolate, it's going to set quite quickly.
Yeah.
Where this has just got a little bit of heat around it, just to keep it nice and soft and in that temperature.
So is that in with water in there, or that's just a heat element?
That's just heat element, yeah. We don't want to use, like, a water bain-marie. I know some people do on the stove, it's fine, but...
Yeah.
Chocolate doesn't like water, does it?
Doesn't like water.
No.
Right.
So we're going to put a little bit of this.
There we go, you see. A lot of chefs will be doing this over a pan of boiling water and you're thinking you're going to eat it.
And it makes it trickier.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you've got this heat gun there as well.
Yeah.
So what's the heat gun for?
Oh. It's making a complete mess.
That's all right.
That's it. I got scissors here. No, it's cool.
All right. What do you use the heat gun for?
So this will eventually start to set.
Right.
As you can see, it's getting thicker now.
Yeah.
So we just need to top it out with a little bit of heat.
Heat gun, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just going to pour a little bit of this in.
So you fill each one of those.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you do them all, but you've got one over here, but...
Yeah.
That's that one.
All done. So you see when it sets, it goes a little bit more...
That's my supper later.
And then we need to seal them off. So it's really important to seal them off correctly.
Yeah.
If not, you get bacteria growing inside. Okay. Don't want to scare anybody or anything like that. But... So again, we use a heat gun. So this is just a paint stripper.
Right.
You can use a hairdryer, just something to give a little bit of heat.
A bit of a difference on your hair to a hairdryer using one of them, though, isn't there,
Yes.
really?
And then just take a little bit of that chocolate.
You make this look so easy, though. I know you've done it all your life, but you do make it look easy.
Yeah, sorry. And then just close them up. So giving that a little bit of heat will that make sure that that chocolate sticks better.
Yeah. Again, not in the fridge.
You can do a little bit more in the fridge just to set that off.
Right.
Yeah, but that's
But don't
fine.
store them in there. Okay.
No, don't store them in there. Another one I made earlier. Because it's, you know, it takes time for that chocolate to set properly, and then we can just tap them out.
Wow, look at that.
And you can see we've got the design of the mould there, and then a little bit of that gold powder on the top there.
And then you just pop them on here.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So
Gentlemen.
different flavours here. I've got some caramels and stuff like that, but try one of the gin ones.
Yeah,
So you've got the
definitely.
gin one. Try the gin one. That's these ones. And you need to hear that crunch, don't you? That's the...
Yeah, so that's, you know, you've got that chocolate tempered perfectly with that little
Satisfying
crunch. Yeah.
So there we have it.
That puree in the white chocolate is really good. At
Yeah, just cuts through that.
Yeah.
It's Willy Wonka
different.
himself. Mr. Mark Tilling! The brilliant. The man's a genius. Right, with Tony trying to top trump that. Good luck with that one, with the duck confit later on this morning. And I'll be laying on a spot lunch for my guest, Jay McDonald, later on the show. But I'll see you here after the break, and I'll be teaching you everything you ever want to know about celeriac in this week's Diddle Masterclass. I'll eat this. You need to take this away. You've got 3 minutes.
Okay.
Welcome back. Now, there's still loads more to come from my guest, Jane McDonald, and Mr. Tony Tobin has got a recipe for duck confit in store for us. That's coming up next. But first, it's time for this week's Masterclass. And this week, I thought we'd talk about a lot of chefs' favourite vegetables, to be honest with you, and it's the humble celeriac. You see it often in the supermarket. It's just left there, like it doesn't have any friends, really. But it's an amazing, amazing vegetable. It's used a lot in France, and I think that's probably where I learned how to cook it properly. So we're going to do 4 variants of it. 1 fried, 1 baked, 1 cooked and 1 raw, because you can. It's so versatile, this. So we're going to start off with the soup. A really nice, simple way of making it is into a soup. So what we do is we take some milk, just milk. There's no need to add any things like shallots or garlic to this. The celeriac has just been diced, which that is. So we're just going to pop that into there, like that, with some cream. And all we're going to do is bring this to the boil and just cook this now for about 6 to 8 minutes. That's all it's going to take. That's our soup bit done. Next, we're going to do the salt-baked one as well, really. That's the one that takes the most amount of time. So for this one, really, you make a pastry, which is flour, salt. You can use table salt or you can use sea salt. It's entirely up to you. And we use half and half. Mix that lot together with a little bit of thyme. Now, you don't have to use thyme if you want. You don't have to use any sort of herb. You can use thyme or rosemary. Those are the sort of 2. Even sage for this works really well. But the whole point of this is the crust. You obviously don't eat it because of the salt in it. It's quite unpleasant. But what this does is impart so much flavour into the celeriac when you cook it. So all you're going to do is just bring this together into a dough. Now, you don't have to be too fancy with this. You can add a little bit more water if you want, like that. But you're just going to bring this all together like that. So you can cook fish like this, but vegetables like this are amazing, particularly sort of new season potatoes as you're coming into the new year of potatoes. Probably have to wait till sort of March, April time for those ones, but the new season potatoes, the small ones like this, if you just take the pastry like that and just pop them in here and then case them and bake them, it's just wonderful. But this, like this, really simple. So I'm going to make sure that's coming up to the boil, which that's not far off. And then all we do with this is you take a rolling pin and you roll it out like that. So you just want to make sure that you get to there. So you don't need to go the full way, because what we're going to do is then use our hands to do the rest of it. So take a tray, take a bit of celeriac, that one, and then just encase it over the top like that. And you want to sort of encase the entire celeriac in this and just press it down like that, so it all basically seals the celeriac in. Once you get to that stage, then you set the oven. It's about 160, 170 you want the oven set at, so quite lowish. But you want to cook this for about an hour and a half. Now, depending on the size of the celeriac, obviously you get the bigger ones, it's going to take a little bit longer to cook. But you can actually serve this straight away from the oven if you wanted to, and break it out and serve it at the dining room table. Or you can then leave it in the fridge. And I've left mine in the fridge overnight because I like this as sort of salads as well. You can actually serve this hot or cold, but when you actually leave it in the fridge, the flavour is transformed again. So, like I said, just pop it in the oven, like that, and we've got one that we've got here. You see that celeriac is now heating up, and if we just break this, because the crust bit, the actual bit of salt has done its work. There you go, look. And what you end up with is this bit of celeriac in the middle. This is delicious. We'll lift this out. Now, the reason why I don't peel it is that I peel it now. So I don't peel it first, I peel it after it's cooked. There you go. And like I was saying, you can have this sliced, you can have it hot, you can have it cold. It's entirely up to you. But this is used for garnishes. You can puree this, and you've got a beautiful salt-baked celeriac puree, which is delicious. But this, with a simple little combination of oil and another sort of fantastic ingredients that goes really well with our nice little bit of celeriac. And like I said, you could flavour this soup as well if you wanted. I forgot that. But look, you can take a little bit of this. This is a bit of curry powder. Just add a touch of curry powder. Only wants about half a teaspoon in there at the end, like that, towards the end, and that'll cook nicely. But there are other flavours like vanilla, which work brilliantly with celeriac, which I'm going to show you with this one. But look, the celeriac is beautifully cooked. It's lovely and soft. And if we slice this through, and you can see it's lovely and moist still, we just put that on the plate. This is just fantastic with a bit of creme fraiche. It just really, really does taste delicious, this. So just a little bit on the plate, like that. And really unusual sort of flavour. There we go, a few bits in there, and another bit. Now we've got our soup ticking away nicely. I'll move that to one side, because that's that bit. And we're going to finish this off, this nice little bit of celeriac over here with a lovely little dressing. You just take some vanilla. Like I said, there's different spices that go really well. I mean, it takes a lot of spices to celeriac, but things like vanilla, this is a bit of vanilla pod. You want it in a small amount, because this is quite strong. This, together with just a touch of extra virgin olive oil, some salt, and some black pepper. Tiny bit of salt, obviously, because of the stuff we got in here. Mix that together. This is a vanilla oil. And this, with our nice little bit of celeriac, tastes amazing. Like that. Really, it's all it needs. Dollop of creme fraiche. It's fantastic. That's one way of cooking celeriac. That's another way. The other way classic French way is called remoulade, which I absolutely love. And remoulade is very, very simple. So what you want to do is peel the celery. It's much better to peel it with a knife, to be honest with you, rather than mess around with it. Sorry. It's much better to peel the celery with a knife rather than with a peeler, because you'll get this bit out as well, this root part as well. There we go. It smells so good. You've got this sort of celery, parsnippy sort of flavour. It's just delicious. And then what you want to do for remoulade, really, really simple, is you just slice this nice and thin. Remoulade is sort of French version, I suppose, of our coleslaw. We got that coleslaw mixture. The French do this really simple thing called remoulade, and all it is this. And over there I've got some mustard, I've got a touch of mayonnaise. Now, this sort of simple little salad you can do with cold meats. You can have it with fish, cold fish as well, which is really nice. But like I said, cold meats usually, it's just wonderful. But used as a little side order as well, side salad. It is delicious. No need to, once you get to this, no need to salt it as well. You're just going to take the celeriac, once you get to that stage, grab yourself a bowl. And then over here, I've got some mayonnaise. We can just use a dollop of mayonnaise, a touch of grain mustard. Usually it's grain mustard, just a nice dollop of that. Mix that together, a little bit of black pepper and some salt. And then you combine this together, and this is your simple little remoulade. Mix all that lot together, and it's a wonderful little garnish, this, one that tastes amazing. And you can take your lovely little remoulade and serve it with it. This is brilliant with chicken, I say with cold meats, with cold pies, with pork pie. This is amazing as well. But really nice little remoulade. It's a great thing that, and also a great thing for the summer because it's brilliant with barbecues and bits and pieces like that. A little bit of remoulade. Then we've got a soup. Just check on our, not far off, another minute. Gives us time to do this, the last one really. This is the celeriac crisps. What you can do is use a peeler, and you just take the celeriac and peel it down. Now you could, if you wanted to, keep this and do whole crisps, as in circular crisps. If you use a mandolin or stuff like that, you can then slice this, but another way to do it is just thinly sliced it. And I've set the fryer for this about 150. The most important bit with this, like vegetable crisps, these contain quite a lot of water, the vegetables, so when you deep fry it, you see a lot of steam that will come off it, and if the fry is too hot, they go brown straight away, and you don't want them to go brown anyway, but you want them to stay the same colour, but particularly straight away, otherwise they become bitter and they don't crisp up. So you're sort of getting rid of the moisture first and then crisping them up. They go in. So you can see all the moisture coming off it as well, the veg. When they go in there, just give it a quick stir around, like that, and just leave them just sat in there. They'll take no more than about a minute or two in there. Meanwhile, back over to our soup. We can then take this and then blend it. So the celeriac is lovely and cooked now. And adding that bit of curry just warms this up for this time of the year. You just pop all this lot in here, like that. And then give it a blend. So cloth on. Okay, these chips are now ready. Lift these out. Then take a little bit of table salt over the top. You see the colours there as well. Switch this off now. There we have it. And then this is your simple soup. Remember, this is just celeriac, really, and milk. That touch of vanilla, or, in my case, a little bit of curry powder. But either on. You can actually use both, which really well. The key to this soup, though, and I think that's the key to all soups, is you've got to season it properly, particularly salt. So, black pepper and a good amount of salt. Properly season it and then mix that all together like that. It is so, so good. And so simple as well. That's the key to that. So easy to make. But look, you've got this gorgeous soup. And you can really glam this up if you wanted to. You can just leave it like that, of course. But if you want to do anything really fancy with it, you can then take some leftover cream. And then I've got some little bit of herb oil over here. You can actually buy that. I've seen it in the supermarket nowadays as well. Take a little bit of cream, touch of that. You can grab some oil, a little bit of olive oil. This is this herb oil. It's beautiful little green oil. Sits that on the top. And then you can grab some coriander, another herb that goes brilliant with a little bit of celeriac. And then, of course, you've got your little chips you can pop in as well. So there you have it. 3 or 4 different ways with one of the greatest veg you'll see anywhere. So next time you're in the supermarket or your veg supplier or the market, don't just go wandering past it. Celeriac's not just for Christmas. Give it a home after Christmas, because this is one of the most tasty vegetables you'll use and taste anywhere. There you have it. 4 dishes done. Now, if there's anything you'd like to learn about Little Mousecast, then do get in touch. We see if we can help out right here on the show. Time now for a quick break, but join me again in a couple of minutes when we're home for another great plate of food, this time from Mr. Tony Tobin. Duck confit's on the menu. That'll go well with that celeriac. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Now, I'll be making a show-stopping shepherd's pie for my guests, including Jay McDonald. That's coming up next. But before that, I'm here with Paul and Mark, and we're about to enjoy some classic French cooking from a man who made his name in London's most famous restaurants. It's my good mate. It's Mr. Tony Tobin.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the show, Sheffy.
It's great to be here.
What are you going to be making then? Classic duck confit?
Yeah, I'm going to do duck confit because we want to try and inspire the gents at home to cook for their good ladies this Valentine's. Yeah. And this is a dish that you can get ahead on and then just finish off in the oven on the day. So it's nice and easy. So I've got 2 rather large Barbary duck legs here, which I've put a little bit of sea salt on, garlic and thyme, and covered in cling film and put in the fridge overnight. Yeah. Now, confit in French means preserved. Confit, confiture is jam, preserved fruit. So that's why we salt it. It's not necessary. Yeah. But if you want to keep it for longer, it kind of draws the blood out. It does add some flavour and helps tenderise it. You salt it
technically overnight if you can, 24 hours as well if you wanted to. But
but it's not necessary. You don't have to. Yeah. It improves it a little bit. Only me and you would know. Yeah. These 2 over here wouldn't know.
Well, I certainly wouldn't know. Yeah, exactly. We're getting our own backs. He said he used to come back from school and watch us. That's what he does. That's how long we've been cooking.
Exactly.
Right.
So in this pan here, I've got some goose fat. You can buy it from your butchers.
I'm going to dice this up for the confit thing that you were doing as well.
And then we just got to flavour that, the goose fat. So any flavour we put into the goose fat is going to transfer itself into the duck legs. Right. So it's just a coarse chop.
Now, congratulations are in order for you, really, because Grandad.
I am a grandad.
Officially a grandad.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So,
it's the last bit of grey hair gone.
Exactly. Do you know what? It's absolutely amazing. Olivia, she's absolutely gorgeous. And, we're all very, very proud. Yeah. Just loving life at the moment. She comes... We see her a lot because my daughter, Sophia, who had Olivia, lives very close by. So that's
quite handy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very handy.
Yeah, she planned that,
Yeah, of course she did. So I've got garlic in there. Yeah. I've got some vegetables, carrot, onion, celery in there. I'm going to put some orange zest in there, a couple of those in there.
So the idea is you're just warming this duck fat up.
I'm bringing it up to the simmer. Yeah. OK? I've got rosemary, tarragon.
Now, you put...
Lots of thyme.
When I've had this in France, it can be just that garlic and just a few herbs.
Exactly.
You like putting all these spices in?
So I put this in. So mine's slightly, not curried, but it has that. So there's curry leaves.
Right.
Fennel seeds, bay leaf, fenugreek, cumin seeds, a little bit of Chinese 5-spice, and some herbs de Provence, just for the French bit at the end.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah? So,
Anything
imagine
else?
that. No, that's all going to come up to the heat there, right? And then leave the garlic and thyme on, and then you pop your duck legs in there. Ideally, a deep pan so it's completely covered in the fat.
Yeah.
If you need to top it up at home, if you need to top it up with a little bit of vegetable oil, I don't mind about that, as long as you've got some goose fat in there just so it gets covered.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bring it up to the simmer.
Yeah.
You can put it in the oven if you want, cover it with the lid, or you can just keep it really ticking over 2¼ hours, then switch it off.
OK. And then leave it there.
Switch it off and leave it there. So
and then this is where you're on about the preserving, because if you go to France, this will be just kept in the duck fat, won't it? And just, you have this as it is.
Yeah, so when
Right,
it's
like
cooked, in France, they take it out and they put it into a little container like this. Here's some that I cooked yesterday, and that's completely immersed, most of it, in the fat there. And that would last in the fridge for 7 to 10 days here.
There you go. I'll let you wash your hands while I sort out the rest of it.
OK, thank you.
So what have I got there? So I've got the shallots over here.
So shallots, and then in this pan here, I've got...
You want them in there?
Yes, please. I've got red wine, about 3 parts red wine to 1 part creme de cassis.
OK.
OK? Bring that up to the boil.
Yeah.
And then we turn it down and reduce it completely until it all disappears and it goes back.
This is a bit different from what I used to watch just coming back from school, ready, steady, cook. We had to make all this in 20 minutes. You've got, here's one I did earlier.
Look, here's one I did earlier.
What's all this carry on?
What, though? You can,
I'm timing you.
You could eat that with a bit of ice cream.
Yeah,
That's so nice.
Yeah.
But that's going to finish off our gravy.
OK.
OK, so we've got...
So that's reduces down.
That's reducing down. I've got 2 duck legs, which I've taken out of the fat, and they're in the oven roasting. We want them nice and crispy. We're heating up some mashed potato, very special mashed potato, that Tony Tobin mashed potato, made it myself.
OK.
Not many people do that these days, I know.
Right, got a bit of that.
So, really, if you can make your own mashed potato, please do, because it's so much nicer. And that is just, it's a lot of butter, which you'd like. Potatoes boiled, I use Maris Piper.
Yeah.
Strain them out of the water. Make sure they're really well cooked. You don't want them even a little bit of crunch. There's no give. When you put the knife in, it needs to come out. And actually, if you turn the knife, they should be able to split open. Then you strain them off, you put them back into the pan, dry pan, until they're really, really dry, lots of steaming off. And then I've got one of those potato rices that I put them through, put it through into a bowl, and then I bring my... thank you. I bring
I'll
my
do this.
milk.
I'll do it for you, don't worry.
No, and make sure... Can you season it as well, please?
I'm
Salt
doing
and
it.
pepper. Yeah. And then bring the milk and the butter up to the boil so it's hot. So you're adding hot liquid to your hot potatoes, and then I finish it with a nice glug of extra virgin olive oil, salt, and plenty of ground white pepper.
Right.
Right.
So you're making this potato then. So rather than just dollop it on, you're going to do a little chefy little thing.
Not really chefy, but it's a chefy shape.
It's a chefy
So you
shape.
take any old spoon. This spoon would be pretty useless without a cling film on it because it's a slotted spoon and the potato would go through it. But if you put cling film on it, all of a suddenly, right, you can make a little chefy shape like that.
Are you impressed with that? That smile.
It doesn't stick, look. It doesn't stick.
Yeah, it doesn't stick. Look at that. Lovely.
I can see you impressed with that, James. You can have that
There's
one.
going to be people making a hell of a mess of this for Valentine's.
Have that one for your next book.
Might
Yeah?
practice. Right. Right.
2 beans.
Yeah.
You can serve this with anything. I've got a mouthful of
Tell me about. So great news is you've now got a new job as well. New year, new job. You're down the road from me.
I am. I've got a new job at Goodwood Racecourse.
Wow.
Looking after the kind of... What they're calling me a development chef, so helping... They've got a lovely chef there called Alan and a guy in production called Jamie. And I'm joining forces with those two. And the food there is amazing. We feed thousands of people.
Well, the ingredients all around Goodwood are amazing anyway.
Yeah.
They've got their own ingredients. It's
The
absolutely beautiful.
animals and vegetables and cheese. Look at that.
Delicious, classic.
Right.
That.
That's proper classic, isn't it, that?
I like the addition of all those Oriental ingredients and
See,
you like
you haven't
spices.
lost it, Tony. You haven't
Thank
lost
you,
it.
chef.
Some people say you never had it in the first place.
No, I
but
know,
you
I
never
know.
had it. But you ain't lost it.
There you go.
Look at this. I feel like we should do... Do you want to name this dish a la Ready, Steady, Cook? No, tell us what this dish is. tell us what this dish is.
This is my confit of duck with a shallot and cassis sauce.
They're brilliant, Mr. Tony Toby. Now, if you're just switching on your TV, remember this from 30 years ago. I'm just thinner. Tony Tobin, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There we have it, gents.
Brilliant.
Dive in. I feel the need we should set up a candle for them and just dim the lights. Just
Nice little dinner for two, yeah.
It smells great. You can be my Valentine.
That sauce with that right at the end, it just
lifts it.
transforms it, doesn't it?
And it goes with so many things. So you can use those.
And the spices, it's interesting. You put a lot of the spice in, but man, you can really taste them. In the
You
dough.
can taste them.
It really comes through.
Wow, really nice, isn't it?
Really good.
Never had that with those spices in there as well.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
There you go. It's not bad, that, is it?
Mash is good.
Super
not
tasty.
sharing.
Yeah, it's not sharing, exactly.
Thank you.
Right, there you go. Absolutely delicious. Mr. Tony Tobin, everybody.
Thank you very much. Cheers,
A
guys.
legend. Congratulations as well, pal.
Cheers, mate.
Right, we've still got time for one more final course this morning, so join us again after the break where we're rusting up the best ever shepherd's pie for Jane McDonald and all these three. I'll see you after the break. Welcome back now for the final part of the show. Sadly, but I'm back in the kitchen with a not bad commie. Paul's here, Tony, Mark, and of course Jane McDonald. And so, Jane, you had fish and chips for your nice little starter.
Yeah.
Another one on your list was shepherd's pie.
Love it.
So I'm pretty sure the gentlemen around here like shepherd's pie. So shepherd's pie. I'm going to do this with Vichy carrots.
Vichy carrots.
Vichy carrots comes from an area in France called Vichy, which is famous for mineral water. Here you're getting tap water, not mineral
wrong
water.
with that, love.
But it's cooked in the style of Vichy, which is cooked with water. It's cooked with sugar, just a little bit.
Oh, what you like.
Sugar, butter. You can chop that in half. Well, chop it into in half and then half again.
So it's caramelised, really, then?
Well, no, it's actually... So when you cook the carrots, it cooks in this butter and sugar mixture, and as it cooks, it reduces down and it creates this lovely glaze with the carrots at the end of it.
Wow.
So you take the carrots like that. You can then leave the green on it if you want, but you can just break these off. And these go in whole like this. Now, when we were chatting to you about fish and chips, we got carried away with the tour and everything else. We failed to even mention the album that you're launching as well this year.
Yeah, I've got a new album coming out with all the songs that I've been doing in the tour that people have been asking for. So, yeah, there's going to be a new album out as well to go with the tour.
And then I've got to talk to you about Gogglebox because that must be such good fun to do, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and people see Sue, you know, who's like always with me. She's been with me working and best friend for 30 years, and we actually finish each other's sentences, and that's how
You
we
do?
are.
You
I
do?
know we do.
I can witness that. Yes, exactly. You do.
And it's just good fun. I mean, how the heck we landed that? We just sit and watch telly and get drunk, and it's
Well,
just
the weird thing is, it's what chefs watch as well. Chefs watch Gogglebox, don't they?
I love it.
Yeah,
I
see,
love
look,
it,
told you.
fantastic. It's such a great gig. Love it. I hope they ask us again now.
Right, so we've got this lamb. I'm just going to show you this lamb. So the chef there has chopped up the onions perfectly. We've got the garlic. You just put the garlic in like this. Just throw it in. Because the key to this bit is that I'm not going to use stewing meat for this. Obviously, so much time shepherd's pie, you use it with the mince.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but you need the really nice lean mince to me because it can get quite fatty.
Yeah.
And lamb fat's OK, but I think it's better crispy lamb fat, don't you think?
Definitely.
I think if you have lamb fat and it's just sat there, it's not that appetising. So I think for this one, the best way to do this is use the shoulder. Right. So this is a shoulder on the bone, like that, and you can get the larger ones, but that's the shoulder of lamb. And then what we're going to do, I'll just quickly wash my hands, and then we're going to simply braise this. But the key to this, really, is you cook this in two parts. So you've got... This is the first bit, and then we've got a second bit we'll introduce in a minute. But you take some wine over the top like that. Yeah. A good glug.
Good glug.
Half a bottle.
The rest of it's going down by Jane over here, because that'll just go back in the car.
Yes.
There you go.
No, it will.
I know it will. And then we've got some stock over here. Chicken stock, really. You can't buy lamb stock anyway from the supermarket, so a bit of chicken stock. Or you can use beef stock. Then you can cover this over if you want. I would roast this off as it is. and then cover it over. It needs a good 2 hours in the oven. So about 160, 170. Allow it to cool, and we end up with what we've got over here, which is basically stripping the meat off, and that's going to be the second part of our shepherd's pie, because the first bit is this. Then you shred the meat, and then we'll make a sauce using whatever's left in the pan. That goes in there. But obviously we mentioned the tour as well. We're going to recap on the tour because this is something new for you, because you are a control freak. This is out of your hands. You're touring the end of this year.
Yes, October and November.
Do you tour every year, or is
No, I've had a break because I've been so busy on television for the last couple of years that I just could not fit everything in.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of prep to get the tour together.
Do you go on with the crew and everything else? All right, I drive everywhere, but you
I'm
go
on
in the
tour
bus.
I like a cup of tea and a game of cards when I
You
get
go in
home.
the tour bus, you say.
You know, so I'm on a
He's too
tour
posh for
bus.
that.
It's not,
You've changed.
No, it's not. When you're doing really well, you get a tour bus. When you're driving yourself, you're lugging your case yourself, you see. That's the key to it.
Yeah.
I'm not telling everybody can wind her up, but next time she's in London, the best way to do it is she's doing the tour bus. From me, just throw a pack of bread on the roof.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
What, the birds?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Great alarm call. Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Don't
Seagulls.
You even, no.
It's like somebody jackaramming the top of the tour bus at the end of it.
I don't care how good your shepherd's pie is.
No, they're all going to be doing that now. Right, so we'll recap over here. So we've got our carrots cooking away nicely. We've got our lamb over there. You can put a little bit of salt and pepper in there, Chief, if you want to. This is a little bit of beurre manier. So what you do with this is you take butter and flour mixed together. That's all it is. So usually when you're starting off with a sauce, it's butter and flour, and you create like a white sauce. But with this, what you do is if you are faced with this and you can't flour the meat beforehand like you can with a stew and seal it off, you are faced with a gravy that's not going to be thick. So you can thicken it up. You won't want to use corn flour, you won't want to use arrowroot and stuff like that. What you can do with this is you just grab a little spoon.
Is that equal quantities, James?
Yeah, it's equal quantities. And you just break it up like that, and you just pop this in. You stir it all in, and it'll dissolve into it and thicken it all up. Into a nice little gravy. So a little bit of beurre manier. The chocolatier's just gone, oh, yeah. He's not used to seeing this. He's not used to seeing this, is he? Just surrounded by chocolate.
Meat?
That's all he is.
What's meat?
Exactly. But look, you've got a nice little... And then what we're going to do is take all this and pour it over the top.
Oh, look at that.
So we lose none of the liquor, anything. And if I can get you to sort of put the mash on... Now, Michelin star chef here... I'm going to get him to put the mash on how we do it at home, not with a piping bag. You'd reach for the piping bag for this one. He's going to put it on.
The way my mum showed me with a fork.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a fork. I'm going to give you a fork, and you're going to do it properly with a fork that goes over the top of that.
Yeah.
That goes over the top of there. So, of all the places where you visited, and you visited some amazing places, I was watching. You've done the Caribbean. You've been all over the place. Where would be the one place that you just think? That's the place I want to go on holiday. That's the place I'm going back to.
Oh, well, the Mississippi were fabulous.
That is amazing there.
I loved that.
Did you go down to New Orleans and all around there? It's amazing. Do you find it's quite... There's an element of... Gets to about 6, 7 o'clock at night and go... It's
I'm
changing.
back to autumn.
Do you know what? It's changing. It's just really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's very touristy. It's an amazing place. I mean, you've been there.
Yeah, I know.
You can go to galleries and stuff like that, and you get to about 7 o'clock, it's got an edge to it, hasn't it?
You think, oh, it's time to go. but I'd love to go to Nashville, though. There's still places I really want to go.
Yeah.
So, I
Of all the places where you've been, because you must have been to places where, TV takes you to places where you've never been before.
Japan. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Everything worked.
Everything works.
No, I mean, everything worked.
But look, we've just got our carrots. Look, you've got the nice little carrots. These are the glazed carrots, the style of Vichy. Look, you get this. Look at this.
Look at that.
There you get the carrots. We've got our mashed potato that's been forked. I think his mum does a better job than that, to be honest with you. But anyway, that'll go in. That'll go in there.
Yeah.
And then you've got your... Can I read the cloth there?
Yep.
Oh,
we've got... look at this.
smell is...
This will love a lamb.
I do. Look at that.
This wants to go in the oven for about an hour.
It's proper, that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oven. There you go. And then what we do is we're just going to take a nice little spoonful. We take our carrot. And I actually like this just as a whole chunk.
Yeah, best way.
Carrot like that.
Nice.
Just on there.
You're an artist, darling, that's...
Well, I don't know. He is next to us, you know.
I knew him when he used to chop those carrots.
Really?
Hey, hold on a minute. In my toilet, bear in mind, in my toilet, I've got... There's proudest moments in my life, and this is one of them. I used to be, for about 3 days, the world's fastest peeler and chopper of carrots.
Were you really?
I was. I've got a Guinness Book of Records and everything.
Have you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got another one from flying from John O'Groats to Land's End, the fastest, in a helicopter.
Don't surprise me.
That's what it was.
I
But
should
look,
be really shocked.
but look, this is...
Oh, hey.
Get you a bit of that. And I'm going to get you some of this amazing lamb.
Oh.
Look at this in here. So this is your stewed lamb. Sits on there with your nice little bit of carrot. So there we have it. While I finish off the rest of it, this is my shepherd's pie with braised shoulder of lamb with a Vichy-style carrot. Job done.
Wow.
Done.
Very nice.
Right. One for you.
Thank you.
One for you.
Thank you.
One for you. Me and Thea have got the pan.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
That's all right.
Oh, even plates are warm.
Warm plates.
Love it. Have you got enough room there?
Yeah.
Carrot.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, isn't it?
There you go.
This is...
That is...
It's. We were talking about this. Well, we use the lamb mince, or you use that, or half and half. Just
Shredded makes a difference.
Takes it to a different level, doesn't
More
it?
flavour as well.
Yeah.
You don't need...
Happy with that?
So
Good stuff. There we go. That's all we've got time for today. Massive thank you to all my guests. Dean Cole, Paul Foster, Tony Tobin, Mark Tilley, and, of course, Jay McDonald. Good luck with the tour. Good luck with the album as well. There we go. We'll come and see you. We'll see you back at the same time next Saturday morning. We'll be joined by more top chefs. Judy Dew will be here, and Ryan and Liam Simpson-Trotman. And also top forager Alicia Vasey and 80s music legend Tony Hadley will be here.
Tony!
Are you staying for next week?
Yeah, I think I
I
might.
thought you might. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.